start, to introduce you the topic of my today's presentation, I would like to begin with a famous quote of the General of US Army, Eric Shinseki, who said, "If you don't like change, you're going to like irrelevance even less." Well, okay, you're likely to say, we are not prepared. We pursue preservation, but the old order is doomed. We value permanence, but permanence is the last refuge of those with shriveled imaginations. We practice change, but change is not enough, not nearly. So, what I would like to talk to you about today is a world where the idea of corporations that exist in perpetuity is considered so much nonsense. A world where the urge to merge is buried beneath the drive to self-destruct. A world where a timid goal of improvement and a tendency to tinker has given way to an unabashed commitment to destruction. The New York Times journalist Kevin Kelly once said, "It's easy to kill an organization than to change it substantially." And I agree. It's easier to create Walmart than to change Sears. It's easier to hire an internet-savvy 26-year-old than to retool a web-very 52-year-old. In fact, the need to embrace change is imperative. Jack Welch had a remarkable tenure as CEO of General Electric, but it was no less remarkable for the way that he just kept changing himself and changing the company up to the end of his tenure. As the net gathered momentum, 60-year-old Jack asserted that there would be a new GE way. He offered to conduct transactions through the internet and named it Deep.com, with Deep standing for destroy your business. So, Kevin Kelly is no wild-eyed radical, and neither is Jack Welch, but yet they are both comfortable with terms like to kill an organization and to destroy your business. And what does it mean when non-radicals use radical language? It means it's time to take charge. It's time to reimagine, time to destroy. Now I would like to talk to you about good management, about the dangers of good management. Good management is about giving customers what they want, right? Right. And the highest performing companies, and that's the problem, the highest performing companies have well developed the systems for killing the ideas that their customers don't want. As a result, they find it very difficult to invest adequate resources in disruptive technologies, low margin opportunities that their customers don't want until those same customers decide that they want them. And by then, it is too late. Good management is the most powerful reason leading firms fail to stay top their industries. Precisely, it is because these giant bureaucratic companies listen to their giant bureaucratic largest customers and provided them with products of the sort they already had with the products of the sort that they already had, because they carefully studied the market trends and which always say, do more of what you're already doing with a micro twist or two. And because of all this, they lost their positions of leadership. Am I being unfair? I don't think so, or if so, not by much. So you are likely to, you are well interested to know what's wrong, and above all, that is what's wrong. In an age that demands agility and flexibility, to go in an opposite direction, to bulk up, to conglomerate is stupid, and this is practice that doesn't add up. Every major merger creates a conglomerate, and the more loudly the conglomerate is denied that point, the more likely it is to be true. And they deny it for a very good reason. Bigness doesn't work. There's now a ton of research on merger and acquisition phenomenon, and the upshot of it is crystal clear. Most of the studies say that it is 50% of of the acquisitions that don't pan out. Others say that it is 80 or even 90% of them. Am I saying that bigness never works? That all conglomerates are doomed to fail? Not quite. The one company that beat the one Fox 100 company that beat the market over the 97-year period was General Electric. And General Electric turns out to be one of the biggest, most acquisition-friendly companies that ever was. But here's the irony. General Electric is the most disorganized of all the giant companies. Not undisciplined, but disorganized. True, in 1981, when Welch began his long tenure at the top of the GE, there was too much bureaucracy there. And but yet, innovative people were productively and happily beyond the reach of this bureaucracy. Out there in subsidiaries, GE bosses may have genuflected to headquarters as required, but only so that they could then go their own merry way. In the hinterland, the hallmark of all operations was disrespect. So, in short, GE is a self-destructing company. It's always been that way, and the genius of Welch is lay in taking it further in that direction. If you remember deep.com. And as I see it, the few conglomerations that lasted are, yes, those that are best at self-destruction. In fact, I acknowledge that acquisitions can have a role to play. But acquisitions arguably should follow the pattern set by John Chambers at Cisco Systems, by Jack Welch at GE, by John Wren at the advertising super agency Omnicom. That is not acquisitions that involve one sluggish giant acquiring another sluggish giant, but rather acquisitions that are about purchasing innovation. Not bulk acquisitions, but rather small, on-the-rise specialist acquisitions. Another way to merge smart is to merge virtually. The internet changes everything, and companies now are increasingly able to achieve the benefits of size, which is the larger scope for action, by means other than ownership. Simply put, a one-person enterprise working out from a spare bedroom can be in direct contact with the entire world and can have an incredible scope and scale without owning a thing. So what I'm trying to say throughout my presentation is destroy. Destroy and rebuild. This has been the hallmark of, for example, and it is a huge example, the Great American Jobs Miracle. Between 1980 and 1998, Americans managed to create 29 million jobs. At the same period, the European Union, which is one-third larger than the US in population terms, managed to add but 4 million net new jobs. And but what's the difference between 4 and 29 million, beyond the obvious 25 million? Much of the answer can be seen here. Americans got to 29 million by having the nerve to destroy 44 million jobs at General Motors, at Ford, at Sears, at Chrysler, at IBM. Then they offset those lost jobs with 73 million new jobs at Microsoft, at Dell, at CNN, at Genentech, at Charles Schwab. The European Union got to a rather paltry sum of 4 million by destroying nothing and creating 4 million jobs in the public sector. So here's the message. If you don't have the nerve to destroy, you will never create on a large scale. Now we've come to a conclusion. And here I'd like to say that it's time to change all that, dramatically. Time to destroy what we are. Time to build a new. A frightening time, a fun time. And they are both in equal measure. It is always so at moments of dramatic change. So, cherish impermanence. Cherish upstarts. Cherish disrespectful colleagues, customers, suppliers, employees. Cherish destruction. The message is, destruction rules. Destroy to create. Learn to love the word destruction. Destruction or else. Else is irrelevance. Thank you.